just here to give my opinion and carry.
All right, everybody. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Kris Avalon. I don't know what's going on today. It seems like my computer is moving slow for some reason. But anyway, we in the building. We got a lot of topics to talk about today. Glad that you can all join us. I know I just did a, quick live stream. So if you can get a chance, get up in the room and we can get into these topics. Which is, we got some tea on Ashanti. We got some tea on the Renaissance tour and about how much it made over the weekend with the box office. We got some tea on Billie Eilish, Fat Joe, Kroy with another damn lawsuit. Daddy Yankee giving his life over to the Lord. Apparently there's some trouble in paradise with Cardi B and Offset, and a whole lot more. But before we get started, I just want to say, besides, how you doing? How you doing? Follow me on all my social media platforms, which you can catch down below in the description. I just realized I forgot to put it in the description, but you follow my other things. I'll put it in later on because I was busy putting in the topic and stuff we're going to be talking about today, but I forgot to put the description stuff in there. But you can follow me on my social media platforms if you watch the prior episodes. I have it in there, or you can check back later and then follow me on all of them. It's the Kris Avalon or the Kris Avalon _ depending on which one, whichever way you slice it. Also, to follow my Cash App, which is the Kris Avalon $ the Kris Avalon, blah blah blah, and all that good stuff. So yeah, here's the Facebook. Here's the YouTube and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, because I don't want to keep you all stalling for long. Basically, okay, so before we get started, Kris Avalon Unfiltered is basically a show where we talk about all the latest trending hot topics, what's going on in the world of entertainment and all that good stuff. Sometimes we might get a little political, but yeah, so there's that. So first topic we got is word on the curb is that Ashanti is pregnant with her first child. So congratulations, I guess, is in order for her and Nelly, who are expecting their first child together. According to reports, one of them being Us Weekly, it says Nelly and Ashanti are welcoming their first baby. And this is what a source exclusively tells us. The baby will be Ashanti's only child, while Nelly, who is 49, shares daughter Chanel, who is 29, and son Cornell Haynes III, because that's his government name. He's 24 with his ex Chanetta Valentine. Now, Ashanti, who is 43, sparked pregnancy speculation over the weekend when she attended Nelly's Black and White Ball in St. Louis with her partner. During the event, the Only You singer put her hand on her stomach while on stage with Nelly, and he did the same. According to a fan video shared by TMZ, the couple broke into laughter after seemingly hinting that they're both expanding their family. And for that, I want to say, congratulations, because I know everybody's been kind of getting on Ashanti to my, well, girl, when you gonna have a baby and when you gonna do this, when you're gonna do that. And it's like, look, she'll have a baby when she's good and ready. You can't go around and stressing people and putting pressure on people because look, like I always say, not everybody on this earth wants to have children. Not everybody on this earth wants to get married and all those things. But someone who's it's I know it's a lot more difficult when you are a person of color, particularly, well, just a woman, particularly women of color, when you have babies later on in life, when you're in your 40s, there's a lot you got to worry about with that, So I'm rooting for them. I know a lot of people was like, well, why were they these two? I know there was a little division on social media. A lot of people weren't happy for the couple because, they broke up years ago and then they got back together. But look, J-Lo and Ben Affleck got back together after how many years together? And look, well, we'll say as far as we know, their relationship is thriving because, them two don't be luckily in love when it comes to relationships and things. So at the moment, J-Lo and Ben Affleck are together, or some people call Ashanti's understudy. And then we have Ashanti getting back with Nelly. Look, sometimes when you get older, you I don't know, some people are just in this way of, oh well, if you broke my heart the first time, I'm not going backwards or whatever. But sometimes, a little, what is it? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And sometimes when you're older, you realize that it wasn't certain things don't work when you're, when you're of a certain age and when you're younger. And then you want to go off and sow your wild oats with other people, but then you end up crawling back to the one who truly held your ass down. So I'm really rooting for them. I hope the relationship continues to work out. And I hope that, with them having a baby together, that this will be a good thing. So congratulations to y'all. Now, Beyonce, her she's the queen of the box office. Congratulations to her, because her Renaissance film did really well over the weekend. There's not a lot of competition out in the theaters right now. I just spoke to a friend of mine before I went live, and he was telling me that the concert was, I mean, the film was really good. I've heard a lot of people say that it's a really good film. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna go back on what I said before, because I was like, I don't know if I want to go to movies to see this, but I might actually end up going this week just to see it. So I'm genuinely curious. I'm thinking y'all about to suck me into the movement, and I'm gonna end up going to see Miss Knowles Carter in the theater. So it says that her Renaissance movie is set to own the weekend, as her concert documentary snagged nearly 22 million at the domestic box office. Now, on Friday, December 1st, the highly anticipated movie featuring dazzling tour footage from the Renaissance World Tour was released globally in AMC theaters. Now, just as the concert experience sold out in cities worldwide, so did the film showing. Now, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Renaissance is on track to set a record as the North American box office numbers are crunched, with a projected gross of nearly 22 million domestically. Now, if true, the film could become one of the biggest early December box office openings in 20 years. Says Beyonce has proven a record of drawing in tons of viewers. Back in 2019, Forbes revealed that the singer's 2019 Netflix documentary Homecoming, which I'll still be watching, by the way, pulled in 1.1 million US viewers and an average minute audience of 828,000 viewers on internet connected TV devices on its premiere date, which was backed by Nielsen's SVOD content rating system. So the thing is doing really well. I know we did a show the other day where we talked about how they were like, there's rules and guidelines when y'all go see this movie. Please don't record. Be respectful of the people around you. Don't be dancing in front of people while y'all watching the show. I did see a lot of footage of the stuff online, but the footage that I've been seeing is from people that I know who actually ended up in the document, in the film, and they were basically just filming, and I'm sure they probably had to see it more than once to know exactly the way to shoot, because it's like the first time you watch it, you're not going to know when you pop up. So I'm sure that a lot of the people I know who are in the Renaissance film had to see the movie more than once to know exactly where they fit within the whole situation. So friends of mine, basically, that's the only footage I've been seeing online. I've been seeing people dancing the aisles, and then the clip I showed y'all in the last episode we did with Bobby Lights, where he was acting a fool and he got eliminated from. They said he got kicked out the movie theater and stuff. So um I'm actually glad that this is doing really well. Now, I've seen some pundits on social media who have been breaking their neck every other episode before the strike was over, talk about Taylor Swift and her box office numbers and all this other shit. But the minute Beyonce come out, I don't hear nobody talking. Maybe it's only the black blogs and the black um creators are the ones that's talking about Beyonce, because I haven't seen the white media outlets talk about y'all been up Taylor Swift's ass since the beginning, but I haven't heard none of y'all talking about um Beyonce. But it's all right. We don't need y'all to validate, the queen. And I have to say this. Um, a lot of people have been debating about whether or not Beyonce is on the same level as, like, is she an icon? Well, I don't know if icon is the number we could use it. Maybe when she hits how long has she been making music? I think it's almost been 3 decades. When she hit that 3 decade mark, then we'd be like, okay, well, then maybe I think icon status, she will be at that level. Or maybe when the next album tour comes out, we can talk about that. But I definitely feel like she's on the level of a Michael Jackson and a Madonna. Like, putting the way she put together this mega tour and um starting a movement just with the music, She ain't still get the visuals, and I know people still mad about that. But she caused the movement with the music. She caused the movement with getting y'all to wear silver, and silver is not an easy color to wear anywhere. So, um, I do believe that Beyonce is someone who is on the level of, you know, a Madonna and a Michael Jackson on that icon status. There's a lot of the veteran, the 40 pluses. Shout out to y'all because y'all definitely out here doing it. You got um Beyonce dipping it and doing it on tour. You got Pink out here, defying all the odds with her tour. I know a lot of the media and nobody's really talking about it, but she's, Pink is that girl that still makes her coin and gives y'all a show, even though she's not on the radar of the mainstream and always being talked about. Y'all just want to talk about Beyonce and Taylor Swift. So we got Beyonce, we got Pink, we got Kylie Minogue, who's in 50 plus, who's all doing her show. We got and taking over Vegas. Usher, just who is 45, just wrapped up his Vegas residency and about to get ready for the Super Bowl, and bursting into tears and 45 and still got it. And then we got who else? And then, like I said, with Kylie, and then Madonna at 65 out here doing her tour up until April. Then we have so we got a lot of the over 40s definitely out here showing these kids how it's done. We're not gonna bring up Anita Baker and the other mess, Lauryn Hill, who don't know her ass from the hole in the wall, who's out here being a mess. But we're just gonna keep it on the level of the icons, not the one album wonder. And yeah, so good luck to you, Beyonce, because you definitely out here doing your thing, and keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, don't quote me on it, but I might end up seeing this documentary this week, or documentary concert. I don't even know what to call it, but I hear it's on the level of like a Truth or Dare and Michael Jackson's This Is It, when he did that thing. But I don't think was that intentional, the This Is It thing, but that was supposed to come out, because I know he, passed away around the time of the whole This Is It, before the concert could even happen. So, all that footage and everything ended up being a movie and stuff. So good luck to you. Oh my God, I forgot to put in the thing about Billie Eilish. So, um, we just gonna have to. That was one of the topics. So we'll get to that one. I forgot to put in the headline. It is what it is. But anyway, so we live chat. So Billie Eilish has asked people to stop discussing her sexuality, as she is accused the magazine of outing her. Now, I wrote an article the other day about how Billie Eilish basically came out in an interview that she did with um saying that she has an attraction to men and women. Um she basically this was a Variety article, and then basically I assumed, like, okay, she was just like, oh well, I thought everybody knew. I didn't think it was a big old secret that I'm into what I'm into. Me, I never really was paying attention to who Billie Eilish was sleeping with. Quiet as it's kept, I really don't be getting caught up in people's sexuality. Now, if people want to reveal who they hunching, that's on them, but I've never been somebody that's got to be like, oh well, I care enough about, oh, this was sleeping with this one. It just seems to be this big deal that's in the industry, where people just want to get so caught up in who's hunching who's zooming who. Remember that song? So anyway, so she's basically calling out the magazine for outing her, and said, can people please stop discussing her sexuality? So according to this story from Entertainment Tonight, the Bad Guy singer took to Instagram on Sunday to share some snapshots from the event, and she thanked Variety for the honor presented before calling them out for outing her before the event during the interview, saying, "Thanks, Variety, for my award and for also outing me on a red carpet at 11 a.m. instead of talking about anything else that matters," which is what she wrote in the caption, which was covered by a shot of her belt buckle featuring the silhouettes of two women. Now, the thing in the picture, basically, her pants was around her ankles, and she had like this belt buckle with two women on it. I will show y'all, but I don't know. Sometimes these algorithms be algorithming, and I don't want to get my thing shut down on the YouTube or wherever I'm streaming. So, and she also said, and when I wrote the article before this one that came out, she basically said, when she was asked if she had intended to come out when she made those the remarks in the article, where she mentioned that she was attracted to both men and women. And she was like, she didn't think about coming out intentionally, but she kind of thought wasn't it obvious. I didn't realize people didn't know. Now, I try not to play into stereotypes because a lot of people be out here getting sensitive whenever you start, playing up the stereotypes when it comes to what gay men are perceived to look like and what lesbians are perceived to look like. You know the old joke about lesbians. What do you bring to a second date? A U-Haul. Like that's the old legendary lesbian joke. But Billie Eilish trying to always give. I thought like, okay, she's probably a tomboy. I never thought like she had stud vibes or that sort of thing. But um, what she is, so I never really paid attention to her sexuality and stuff like that. But now she's saying like, well, it's an obvious. I thought a lot of people do. I was like I said before, I wasn't really paying all in her business like that. Number one, I ain't trying to sleep with her. That's probably why. But what she also has to realize, unfortunately, we live in a society where you can talk about so many things in an interview, but the hook that a lot of these magazines, even down to the professional trades like a Variety, a Hollywood Reporter, all of those, they ain't exempt from the smoke either. So when it comes down to it, they're going to be the main ones that's going to be like, well, we got to get people interested in reading this article. So we're going to be like, Billie Eilish comes out. That's going to immediately hook me. Wait, what? That is no shade. It's going to hook people to come in and want to read what the article is about. Now I can say all the things that you feel that is important, but at the end of the day, the hook is always going to be so and so came out of the closet, so and so was caught sleeping with this one. It's always going to be the tabloidy sensationalizing of a situation that are going to draw people in, unfortunately. So that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. Sorry, girl, but I like you, I like your music. But in the perfect world, it would be interesting if people got, sat and talked about, you know, your music or what motivated you or what inspired you to write this song or what were you going through at the time when you wrote this song or all of those things. But for the most part, people are only interested, unfortunately, in the sensationalism. That's the way we live. That's the society we're in. Especially in America, we're so repressed when it comes to sex and sexuality and all these things and gender identity. It's always something new every day when people changing their pronouns and all this other stuff. So when it comes down to, and then with sex, it's like because we're so indoctrinated by religion, that's another thing is that people are going to get so caught up in that. And it's like, I feel like it's whatever, but girl, if you like it, I love it. You go out here and you keep eating that coochie and sucking on them meat popsicles. Whatever you like. Just do it, girl. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic and talk about Fat Joe, who says he basically when it comes to his rap lyrics, he's been spinning a bunch of tall tales in about 95% of his music. So now he recently appeared on Gayle King's show, CNN with Gayle King. I think she has two shows. She has one. Did the one with her and Charles Barkley ever come on yet? I'm curious about that. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm wondering if that show with her and Charles Barkley has aired yet. But anyway, so basically he said because the whole YSL Rico situation and Young Thug and what's going on with them, where recently it was coming out that they want to use the lyrics of rappers who were convicted of criminalities, felonies, whatever you want to call it. They want to use their music to as a justification how we could trap it. So what, we in Minority Report, like we just gonna start using people's with stuff they write in music as being like, oh, see, they said this, so it's got to be true. They did what they said. It's other mess, which I think is a slippery slope, and I don't particularly care for that. So basically, when they were talking about this, he said, I've been rapping professionally for 30 years. I've lied in almost 95% of my songs. I'm being honest. I write like I feel that day. I'm just being creative. You couldn't build a jail high enough for the lyrics I've said on songs, which are all untrue. What I am as a family man, the person who gives back to my community all the time, opens businesses in my community, so the music would never amount to the actual person. He says Joseph Cartagena, but it's Cartagena. Like, sir, you are Puerto Rican. Can you say your name like Cartagena? He says it literally like he from like somebody who just learned Spanish yesterday. But And they also said what's even more horrible is that the district attorneys, they know those lyrics ain't real. They know that's creativity, but if it helps their case, they'll use it to put these guys in jail. And here we're having a fun show about it in discussion, but there really is 6 defendants in Atlanta who might spend the rest of their lives in jail for something that's totally not true. This is very serious. This destroys families. Well, I would say that, you know what? I don't know if he could speak on YSL Rico and he could speak on Young Thug, because maybe some of their lyrics are basically what they're perpetuating. And I know there's some people that do that. But then also you got to realize like certain things when you look at a Nas or a Jay-Z or a J. Cole or, Kendrick Lamar, a lot of that they're taking experiences that they based off of maybe things that they've seen or things that they may have experienced, or they could be in a way of creating situations from something that they've seen, and they're incorporating it into their music. Now rappers, lyricists are storytellers, no different than someone who's a songwriter, no of any genre. But it's funny how we give it a pass in every other genre, but we don't give a pass to hip hop, because hip hop is the one genre to me that seems like people will put so much emphasis and so much credence on top of and be like, well, hip hop is supposed to be, everything that you say is true, which, child, quiet as it's kept, is not. I know, and this might burst a lot of people's bubbles. I mean, also, we have people in the industry who write lyrics for other rappers. Like, there are rappers who are running around with ghostwriters. But y'all only want to put that off on the women. So, like, oh, well, a Little Kim and all, I'm just using it as an example. A Little Kim and Nicki Minaj, all these other women have to be the ones, Cardi B have to be the ones that write their lyrics. They can't be somebody who brings in help to help co-write or to write a song based on how they're feeling that day. And we shouldn't be putting that much energy into that. So I feel like we should just give everybody the space to be creative. But it just seems like because hip hop is relatively new and it's a predominantly, you know, black run genre, or people, mostly people of color, are the ones who are a part of the foundation of hip hop, we tend to put more emphasis on that than any other genre. So I just feel like, and then also maybe it's because maybe it's our fault that we've perpetuated that sort of thing when it comes to, hip hop and lyricism and everything having to be 110% true. Because I don't know how you live in a gated community in Calabasas, but you can continue to write songs about gooning and gangsters and all that other stuff. Like, I don't know how that didn't dawn on people. It's like, so y'all still believe in this hell out here gooning? And I mean, but then again, there are some people that, because they don't want to be perceived as a fraud, they do continue to try to perpetuate those, that lifestyle, the stereotypes of saying like, yeah, I'm still out here banging and saying, I'm like, what the hell you need to be banging for? First of all, you making all this money as an artist. You don't need to be out there hugging the block no more. The point of a lot of rappers who are in positions where they're in the hood, where they're in the projects, and they try to get out. When you look at like a Jay-Z, a Nas, and all these other rappers that I mentioned, their goal was to use the music as inspiration to get out of the hood, not to stay there. Not to continue to perpetuate that image, because y'all trying to perpetuate a certain image for these kids to be out here like, oh, he's cool, he's this, he's that, because rappers love emulating. When I was growing, I don't know if they still do now, because I really don't listen to a lot of the new age rap. Um, but when I was growing up, a lot of the rappers that they were inspired by like movies like Scarface or The Godfather and all those things. So they were inspired by gangster movies and that sort of thing. So a lot of that inspiration came from that. And if you listen to Nas, he says he gets a lot of his inspiration from watching a lot of movies and all that other stuff, because he's always been interested in that world. So it's not always just stuff that was going on in Queensbridge where he grew up. Sidebar, my cousin actually was classmates with him back in the day. Um, because they all, grew up in Queensbridge together. But yeah, so that's the way I look at it. But I love the genre. It's still a relatively new genre. It's 50 years old. I think we need to allow a genre like hip hop to evolve and not try to allow the court system and the judicial system to hold this as the gospel. Being like, oh, well, we're just going to start using hip hop lyrics as a way for lawyers to throw people in prison because it's like that's a slippery damn slope, chair, and I am not here for it. So good luck to y'all, Young Thug and YSL Rico. And I appreciate someone like um Fat Joe being honest about, basically what he said in regards to this whole situation. Um, Roro, how you doing? How you doing? Said they make many of those songs for white kids in the suburbs. That too, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, yeah, a lot of times the this is a thing that also, and I'm glad you reminded me about that because it's like, you know what? It's not talked about enough, but that is true. A lot of white kids tend to be more consumers of hip hop than actual black kids. And so we do sell up a lot of these stereotypes and all these things because, they're on these labels run by white people and they want y'all to sell these stereotypes to a specific demographic. So I do agree with that many of the songs are listened to by the white kids in the suburbs. And then we have a prime example of like T.I.'s son, King, who want to be oppressed and want to be a goon so damn bad because he grew up privileged, even though he'll say he wasn't. But it's like when you have the parents that you have, it's hard for me to believe that you grew up like how I grew up. Like I grew up in Marcus Garvey Projects in Brownsville, Brooklyn. And I grew up in the hood, so we dealt with roaches and things of that nature. We didn't have no mice because my mother had a cat. And, we had a cat to make sure we didn't have no mice and no rats up in the house. But, when you lived in the projects, you had roaches. I don't know how my cousin did it, but I remember going to my cousin's house and she knew how to keep them roaches at her house. I mean, since then I had, my parents picked us up and we moved to the suburbs when I was about 12 years old. But when I would go, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we would go to my cousin's house. The cousin I was telling you about that actually went to school with Nas. I don't know how she kept the roaches about her house, but she was a G with that. And they lived in the project. She don't live there no more. Her son got the apartment. But she out in Jersey. I'm sitting there telling all her business. But yeah, so I say all that to say that it's like, you know what, just be yourselves and stuff. But I guess, but then again, well, look, when I listen to a lot of this music these days, I take it all as fantasy. I take it all as performance. I don't take nothing what these people say at face value. I mean, unless you talk about loving and hunching and all that other stuff, then I'm like, okay. But a lot of the gun blazing and guns and gooning and all that mess, I'm like, y'all probably came from that world, but I don't. But when you are a artist of a certain status, when you made it and you've hit that mark, I don't see you as someone who's still out here running a block of doors and something. Now, I do be seeing some of these people out here still doing that foolishness, and when y'all get arrested, I just be like, you an idiot. But yeah, so I think I'm pretty much done with that topic because I would just go on and on and on. But anyway, let's get to our next topic, which is, child, I am so over Kroy and Kim. Now, I did say that I wasn't going to talk about Kim Zolciak anymore, right? However, there's a loophole in this. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about her husband. So I could get away with talking about Mr. Kroy, which, y'all might as well just like, I don't know what y'all could do with this because now he is being sued by his own lawyer for unpaid legal fees. When I saw this today, I was like, oh no, I got to jump on the line and talk about this topic. So, Kim Zolciak's estranged husband has a new issue to contend with after his own attorney reportedly sued him over unpaid legal bills. Now, according to legal documents obtained by The Blast, the former NFL star was slapped with a lien from his attorney, Marlise A. Bergstrom, over alleged unpaid bills as he navigates through his nasty divorce from a nasty. We'll say that because these two, they continue in my opinion, they like playing with their damn marriage. So I don't even know if they get a divorce because one minute, like I said the last time when I talked about Kim making a whole lies about her daughter being pregnant, and when y'all clicked on the thing, she got paid. So she out here scamming y'all. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a couple of PPP loans. Y'all better check into that. But she, was faking her daughter's pregnancy, and then one minute they getting a divorce and they calling the cops every 5 minutes over some domestic dispute. And then on their anniversary, they had a restaurant together, talking about how much they love each other. And then she talking about she taking the Biermann name back after taking it off. So they're just a mess. So I'm just gonna give air quotes and say, you know, nasty divorce that they gonna get, estranged, whatever you want to call it. Now, Bergstrom claims that Biermann owes his firm, Stearns, Montgomery, and Proctor, a total of $801.01. Damn, they down to the penny for unpaid fees and services. What's more, the docs show that the ex-athlete is being charged 1.5% interest for each month the amount has not been paid off. Now, according to the filing, interest on the lien will continue accusing on all months due until the law firm is paid in full or for legal services performed and expenses incurred. No person shall be at liberty to satisfy any judgment or decree in this action until the lien of the firm is satisfied, the filing adds, noting that the lien attaches to all recoverable assets. Now, page 6, where I originally got the story from, has reached out to the reps from Biermann and Zosiak for comment. And it's a pile-on of all the other things that they have, which would be, police were called to the former couple's $6 million mansion over an explosive fight. As I said a couple of weeks ago, the pair are still living under the same roof, so it's a War of the Roses type of situation. They had a heated argument and forced 3 police officers to show up at the estate to settle the dispute. These two need a damn exorcism. They don't need a damn referee. They need a damn exorcism. Y'all better call Ellen Bernstein. I didn't look. I don't know if her character's still alive. I didn't see the new Exorcist movie, even though I know it's on Peacock. I'm hesitant. Call a priest, call somebody, because these two need Jesus. Okay, so basically it said that on top of their financial woes, their Georgia mansion has entered foreclosure twice. So the plush pad was put up in auction in February after they defaulted on a $1.65 million loan that they took out for the home in 2016. So now the house is up for sale for $6 million, and people probably ain't trying to buy it. But at this point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm about sick of these two. You can't even pay your damn, like, are y'all getting a divorce? Because if y'all not getting a divorce, I don't know how long it takes for a divorce to go through. Like, I've heard so many divorces be messy. Like, how long did it take Bethany Frankel and Jason Hoppy, since we talking Bravo, right? How long did it take Bethany Frankel and Jason Hoppy to finalize their divorce? I think that took damn near a decade. What the hell's her name? Kenya Moore, I believe, is still stuck with that man of hers. She still ain't finalized her divorce. Maybe they need to talk to Ricky Martin and Juan Yosef. They're already divorced. So there's people who can, like, their divorces go through rather, I don't know, pretty quickly. Whereas these other divorces get dragged up. Maybe it's because they were amicable and they were smart within their whole situation where it worked out between them. So maybe that's why the divorce wrapped up quickly. But what's taking y'all so long? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you have an attorney and y'all don't, like, you don't have the money to pay the attorney, I just don't get these two. I just feel like they're at a point where they just feel like they don't have to pay people anything for any of their services, regardless of what it is. And the fact of the matter, excuse me, how they were able to rack up so much in credit card bills without the stores putting a kibosh on them. But I guess, I don't know, should I use the white people angle? Is it because y'all white that y'all able to get away with the things that y'all get away with? So I don't know. This is a mess. I'm gonna definitely keep y'all abreast of this story as it develops. I don't understand these two. I just feel like y'all are a lost cause. And if this is a way for y'all to get back on reality TV, I don't see it happening. I just think that Andy Cohen and them is done with her and done with him. They're not interested in wanting to do a reality show with either one. So if this is all stunts and shows that y'all continue to pull, I mean, although I don't think a lawyer is going to go and literally start pulling a stunt and show just for attention. Like, they want their money, they're going to come after your ass and get their coin. So good luck to y'all, because y'all going to need it. And I don't know what it, look, I've been done said this. Kroy, you need to start yourself an OnlyFans. All that ass you got, you need to put it to use. And I know many a gay men that do OnlyFans. I mean, you can't call Black China. She retired. She's not with them no more. She's delivered, according to her. But look, all that snack table you got behind you that you dragging around, you definitely need to put that to good use. I know plenty of men that will make them cheeks clap, and you can get you a good coin. Charge them $20. A subscription, $25. Put the booty cheeks to good use, and you can make you some money. You can make enough money to pay back your attorney's a little Danielle Bregoli pregnant. So I don't know if she's still doing OnlyFans, but ain't nobody trying to look at no pregnant woman getting her back dug out while on OnlyFans, unless y'all are into that. But I should probably say that people aren't into those things because y'all got some weird fetishes that y'all be into. Not judging, but if you like it, I love it. So good luck to y'all. Okay, so now speaking of Jesus, let's talk about Daddy Yankee, who officially retired, and who I've always considered, everybody talks about Bad Bunny and how, he's this big star and everything, and he is, but to me, Daddy Yankee will always be the king of reggaeton, like, in my opinion. Like, he is somebody who, when when I first started discovering the genre 20 plus years ago, when I really started investing and listening to it, it was him, it was Don Omar, it was Tego Calderon, I was listening to Devote, I was listening to a lot of those artists from in those days. Um, but then, of course, because Daddy Yankee did what he did with Barrio Fino and that whole sound, it opened up this world of, contemporary reggaeton artists, rappers, what do you want to call it, like a Bad Bunny. So if it wasn't for like in my opinion, a Daddy Yankee, there would be no Bad Bunny, in my opinion. So um he basically revealed on his La Meta tour, which means the goal in Espanol, that when he performed in Puerto Rico, he is giving his life over to the Lord. So he is officially retired, in the words of Medea, and is giving his life over to the Lord. So LORDT, yes, is he. So now fans back home and those connected virtually got only not only enjoyed a live musical journey through Yankees' 30-year career, but also observed his vulnerability and transparency when the singer opened up about embracing his faith and religious beliefs. Now, I do have the clip, which is in Spanish. I'm not going to play that because then, but for those of you watching in English, I will translate. So he basically said, "This is the most important day of my life, and I want to share it because it's not the same living a life with success than a life with purpose." This is what Raymond Ayala said during his, as he addressed the audience from the stage. He says, "For many years, I've tried filling a void in my life that no one could fill. I've tried finding a purpose. On many occasions, it seemed as if I was happy, but something was missing for me to feel complete. I have to confess that those days are over and someone was able to fill that void that it felt for a long time. I realized that for everyone I was someone, but I was no one without them. Throughout the years, I was able to travel the world, win many awards, applaud and praise, but I realized something that's in the Bible. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" So he also went on to say, "A chapter has ended, but a new one will begin. All the tools that I have in my power, like music, social media, platforms, a microphone, everything that God has given me is now for his kingdom. Thank you, Puerto Rico, and I hope you walk with me in this new beginning. And I hope you remember something very important. Don't follow any person. I am human. To all the people who follow me, follow Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life." And you know what? Good for him. Like I said, I am a Daddy Yankee fan. I like his music. I'm sad that he's retiring, but look, there's enough body of work out there that I could just put on when I'm at the gym working out or if I'm going for a stroll or something somewhere. So, um, kudos to him, but I totally get why he's like, you know what? I need to give myself over because I felt empty and unfulfilled. Is that I've done so much, this career has allowed me to get out of the hood in Puerto Rico and travel the world and become this global superstar and make the music and touch the lives of so many people. And the fact that he was able to do that for 30 years, it's no easy feat. And I understand, like, when you're surrounded by so many people and so much temptation and you seeing so many things on the road, and there's been many of things that we've talked about on this show that I tell y'all goes down on a lot of, within the industry. And things that I've seen and things that have been reported, with all the sexual assault allegations stuff going on, it's nice to see someone who is just like, you know what? I'm at a point in my life where, because I'm like, how old is Daddy? I think he's almost 50 years old. He's like in his late 40s. So when you get to that point in your life when you're in midlife and I'm not saying he's having a midlife crisis, but when you're at midlife, you get to a point where it's just like, I want more. I feel unfulfilled. Yeah, I've got all this fame and I've got all this money, and I have to believe he's married, he's got children. Um, and I have all these things, but just spiritually, I feel unfulfilled. And if you feel that way, um, I'm laughing because I'm reading Roro's comment, which I will pull up now. He's about to start a church. I would not be surprised because it seems like that tends to be the ongoing thing with celebrities. Look, do not start a hill song. Please don't start spewing homophobia and transphobia and all that other stuff. I mean, I don't know. If he has done that, let me know in the comments because I want to throwing tomatoes and be like, how can you support a homophobe? Like, look, I don't be paying attention to every little thing that everybody be saying and out here doing. So, but all I know is I love the music and all other stuff. But I hope that that's not going to be he's not going to start a because we don't need no more nonprofit tax evading religious sex going on. There's too much of that that's going on, particularly in Hollywood and all other stuff. So we don't need a lot of y'all out here and creating any more churches than we need. You worship who you worship. Me, I'm more spiritual than religious. I don't follow church. I grew up Roman Catholic. That is something that I had to remove myself from based on certain things that they go. There's things that I don't agree with in regarding the church that I had to remove myself from. But I didn't have a choice. Like me, I was raised based off of what my parents put on me, which was we were raised Roman Catholic. So with all those rules and the fear and all that other mess that they put up in there, it's like I had to remove myself from that. But yeah, that's another thing. Scientology, chair. It's like, look, I done told y'all many a times in this show, they tried to get my ass. Scientology tried to get me back in the day. Well, not back, it wasn't that far back. It was back when I lived in Los Angeles. I lived not too far from the church, and I was on my way to the bank to take out some money, and I got harassed. Like they was really trying to recruit me. I was like, you wasn't trying to get me up in there, and you was going to have me caught up in a get out moment. Like, y'all are not doing to me what they did to the other Kris and Get Out. So good luck to you, Daddy Yankee, on your new journey. I didn't get to see the concert. I know they said if you purchase a $20 ticket, you would be able to see it streamed on the internet if you weren't able to go to the concert. But I'm sure if I go on YouTube, I'm sure the whole concert is up there and I can sit there and watch the whole thing that I missed because that's usually how it is. All right. So let's get into this topic because word on the curb is that Cardi B and Offset might have called it quits. This story came out today. Apparently, there's trouble in paradise between the married couple. Now, rappers Cardi B and Offset seem to have hit a rough patch in their marriage, as is being reported that they've unfollowed each other on Instagram. Now, on Monday, Cardi B shared a few cryptic messages in her Instagram stories. One of the Instagram posts she put up was, "You know when you just outgrow relationships." She also added another post by saying, "I'm tired of protecting people's feelings. I gotta put myself first." Now, the Bad and Bougie musician posted a Scarface clip to his Instagram story featuring Al Pacino yelling, "Hey, F you, man." I was trying to say it like how he was talking to there. Who put this thing together? Me? Who do I trust? Me? Rest for Cardi B and Offset did not immediately respond to requests for comment because People Magazine was the one that reported this. Now you know Cardi and Offset do have two children together. He's got a lot, but between the two of them, they have Culture, who's 5, and Son Wave, who's 2. And they, their relationship has been off and on since they got married in 2017. And recently, I believe in September is when they got married. They celebrated their 5-year wedding anniversary. And then a year after they got married, 2018, they announced they were splitting and then they reconciled. He was buying her cars and all this other stuff, I guess, trying to buy her back with gifts. It worked, apparently, because they were still together. And then she filed for divorce 2 years later, September 2020. And then they called off the relationship again. So this kind of makes you wonder, is this another situation where y'all are planning on calling, like, y'all don't put all this stuff on social media and then call it off? Because the thing that irritates me is that when y'all be up in here, y'all put all y'all business on social media and then everybody gets invested, similar to Keke Palmer and her situation where we talked about in the last episode. that she's talking about, oh, I want to call the restraining order so we can work things out privately. And I'm like, girl, you, your mother, and everybody was posting stuff on social media. That we had him post a whole video where she went out at Usher in private and calling you all kinds of, homophobic slurs and all this other mess and emasculating him and all this other stuff. And now y'all want us to like not be invested after you done brought us all in the group chat without asking us. So I don't get it. But I'm gonna keep investing. I'm being nosy. Since y'all put the shit out there, I'm gonna keep my nose up in the situation. So now in June of this year, the couple they said appeared to be struggling. Now all of a sudden alleged that Cardi cheated on him in a since deleted Instagram story, basically said, "My wife effed the N-word on me, gang. Y'all N-words know how I come." Cardi B replied with a Twitter space conversation in which she sang the first verse of Keisha Cole's I Should Have Cheated. She then told listeners that mother father spiraling and thinking ish. Please, boys, stop acting stupid. Stop acting stupid. She addressed Offset directly, going crazy over F in space. Don't play with me. What the F? Stop playing. That's all I'm gonna mother effing say. Now, a month after Offset accused Cardi B of cheating, the couple teamed up for their single Jealousy. The track's cover art featured an image of Cardi B with her hand on Offset's face as she turns to walk away from her husband. Um, Look, to me, it just seems like y'all be playing with your marriage. People need to stop playing with their marriage. Stop playing with your relationships. Stop putting all y'all shit on social media. I mean, this is the problem with Cardi. I mean, Offset, I guess, I see he only jumps on the gram and all this other stuff when he wants to clap back or something, like he did when, he had the fight with Nicki Minaj's husband and he was talking about he wanted to beat his behind after the VMAs. Like those seem like situations or incidences where he jumps on and he wants to say things is when he claps back on social media. Now, Cardi always on fucking social media telling every damn thing. The other day she was bitching about the fact that they forgot the sauce for her food at Chick-fil-A. I'm like, girl, shouldn't you be worrying about putting that long overdue sophomore album out instead of wasting our time talking about a bunch of nothing? You upset over the fact that they didn't put the sauce in the bag for your Chick-fil-A. I mean, as someone who worked in the food industry back, a couple of years ago, um, a lot of times them sources don't be up in there because probably they ran out. And they get a new shipment. Like that has happened, especially when y'all doing the Uber Eats. Like if you came in person and got your food, I can understand. But when y'all doing the Uber Eats and y'all getting all them delivery orders and stuff, yeah, sometimes the sauce is not going to end up in the bag because they ran out. It just is what it is. And especially when you working in them fast food joints. So she's complaining about that. Now y'all sit up here putting all y'all business on social media. Why not put all this in a song? Like this would have been a better idea instead of going on Instagram and posting things about your relationship. Channel it into the music. All this stuff that you got going on that you're dealing with and that's irritating you. Put it in the music. I just don't understand why you waste so much time having a. She's like, oh, I have to get everything out. Well, girl, get in the studio. If you got a studio in your house, run down there, write your lyrics, say it when you need to say it, call a producer. I don't know how you produce music, but get the producer on the phone, tell them to come over. I got an idea and start working on some stuff. Then you're supposed to be working on this new album that's supposed to be coming out in 2024. So I don't understand like why you can't just put all your energy into the album and stop trolling us with all this frivolous BS. So I hope, whatever the outcome of this relationship is, good luck to y'all. Um, Let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments about this whole situation. But girl, I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm ready for just put out some music. Either that or stop trolling us and just, go off and do what you're doing. Stop trying to promise us that you can put out some music. Okay, so I saw another comment that Felix posted. He said, the only black Scientologist I ever knew of was Isaac Hayes. Yeah, I know about Isaac Hayes. And they said, I heard they tried to get Will and Jada. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't necessarily know if they were ever a part of Scientology or not. I don't know. There's been a back and forth with whether or not they've actually were Scientologists. I'm not sure if they ever were. The only black people, like you said, that I knew that were Scientologists was Isaac Hayes because of South Park. And Mimi Faust from Love and Hip Hop when she talked about the fact that she had, like, her mother was a Scientologist. I don't know. I think they had a strange relationship or something or another. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, they had they were both in the whole Scientology thing. I don't know if her mother is still a part of it. I don't remember the outcome of that story. If y'all know, y'all can let me know in the comments. So yeah. Okay, so let's get to our final topic, which is Lenny Kravitz. So we did a story the other day in the last show where we were talking about Lenny Kravitz and the fact that he said some things and that riled people up. Because he said that he didn't feel that he was celebrated and appreciated by the Black community. So he's clarifying what he said because he feels that people took what he said out of context. So the rock star, who's 59, posted on his IG story on Monday to clarify what he meant when he said that he feels that his music and success is not celebrated by the folks who run Black media outlets, and pointed out that he's never even been invited to the BET Awards or the Source Awards, which, yeah, Source Awards ain't been on the Eon, so you ain't got to worry about Source Awards. In this statement, the Grammy winner exploited that he was specifically referring to Black award shows and expressed his hopes that rock music will continue to be recognized in those spaces, saying, "It is important to me to set the record straight on recent media reports based on an interview that I did." This is what he said in a statement on his story. He said, My Black musical heritage means a lot to me, and I owe my success to my supporters who have taken this journey with me over the span of my career." The singer/guitarist continued, the comment I made was not about Black media or the Black community. I was specifically referring to Black award shows in particular. My comment was meant to express my concern about ensuring that Black artists are being recognized for their work in what is now being called non-traditional Black music, which it's not. The hitmaker wrote, "Rock and roll is the music we were instrumental in creating and is a part of our history. We must retain our heritage and celebrate that together. BET and countless others have paved the way for this type of recognition. I hope that by sharing my concern, a spotlight will be shown on this issue. Love and peace." And he also talked about how um where is it? Because I know he said that white people wasn't even giving him his flowers either. Because I remember there was a conversation where I remember when I initially posted this story on my other social media outlets. Like, I actually, whenever I'm done with the show, what I do is I cut up the episodes and I post it on my other social media platforms. Post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, even though I don't get a lot of comments on there. But, or, people saying things back. I'll get a few, but not a lot. But mostly a lot of my feedback comes from TikTok. So when I post stuff on TikTok, a lot of the clips, a lot of people will say that they felt that he really wasn't putting himself out there for the Black community, that he act like he was white. I mean, look, Lenny Kravitz is half Black, half Jewish. Remember, his mother was on the Jeffersons, and his father, I forget what profession. I think his father was like a producer, something that worked in the industry. So he had a Jewish father, Black mother. And he said that he talked about in the Esquire article about how challenging it was to feel that how he was underestimated by white critics at the start of his career in the 90s, saying that there was this one article that at the time said if Lenny Kravitz were white, he would be the next savior of rock and roll. I got a lot of negativity thrown at me by all these older white men who weren't going to let me have that position. And I should also point out that his 12th studio album is about to come out. It's called wait, I don't know what the name of the album is, but I know, like, 2018, the album that was called Raise Vibration Blue Electric Light. But his new album is supposed to come out on March 15th of next year. It says via Roxy and BMG. So I'm assuming he has a deal like Jennifer Lopez and Kylie Minogue, which is BMG is going to be the distribution, but he's releasing it himself because it said Roxy. Roxy Roker was his mother. From the Jeffersons. Why I keep thinking Good Times? Like, in my head, I'm thinking Good Times, but it was the Jeffersons that she was on. Excuse me. So yeah. So look, a lot of people are saying, look, the grass ain't always green on the other side. Like his mother, he literally said that people thought that he act like he was too white and all this other stuff. And look, he's like, look, the white media didn't even get respect what I was doing either. They felt that, oh, if I wasn't a half breed, we'll say that. As someone who's mixed race, I can say that word. And, as someone who is half black, half white, a half breed, that if he were purely white, he would be able to be the savior of rock and roll. But I'm like, rock and roll has always come from black people. It's like I said, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, so many other people that came in those eras. They're the founders of like that whole sound. Rock and roll comes from blues. So people really need to know and understand the history so that we know who we are and stop thinking because rock and roll is mostly dominated by white people, that is a white genre. There have been many of sounds that have come from black people that have been whitewashed and erased from our history, and pretty much they've taken and turned it into whatever it is that they've turned it into. And there are a couple of black rock and roll musicians out there that are still out here doing it, and that are in that genre. So I think people need to further educate themselves. And they felt like that Lenny wasn't really asserting himself in those communities. And maybe it wasn't necessarily his fault. There's only so much an artist can do to really put themselves in those spaces. Especially like we were saying that, the award shows are gatekeeping. They feel like, oh, Lenny is not black enough to be on a show like the BET Awards or the Soul Train Awards or those type of award shows because he doesn't fit that profile. He's more fitted for MTV. Somebody also brought up the same thing about Doja Cat, that they felt like, well, when I was talking to a friend of mine about this, well, Doja Cat hasn't been invited to those spaces and stuff either. Had she been nominated in a lot of those spaces? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't look. There'd be so many award shows. I can't still remember every nomination that goes on everything. But she's more celebrated in the MTV space. So they do take those certain artists that they feel like, oh, well, we know you black, but we can market you to this market so that way you get the bigger audience. But we don't really bring those people in. And we talk about the type of blacks that a lot of these award shows or a lot of the networks, the black run networks, want to, support. And those are like the Tyler Perry characters that you normally see all over BET. Though those are the type of black people that's the market they want to cater to, or the Cliff and Claire Huxtable, Spelman, Hillman College type. Even though Hillman's not a real college, but you get what I'm saying. The Tubi watchers, you get all those type of. There's a certain demographic that when it comes to black marketing that they want to market certain people too. And I was about to go in on him because I remember after I did that article and like the last story and I posted it, someone said that, but Lenny has appeared on black magazines and stuff. Like he's been featured on Essence. He's been featured in a lot of those type of magazines, the Ebonies, and he's been featured on a lot of the black magazine covers and stuff. So what is he talking about? But like we said, he clarified what he was saying. He was talking about the award shows. So like I said the last time, with him saying this, and I guess maybe he's saying this now, excuse me. I think maybe he's saying this now because um he's no longer that. I mean, he's still well known, he's still a legend in the music business, but he's an independent artist now. So maybe now that he's no longer tied to a major label, and that he's releasing his upcoming album independently, he wants all the markets to kind of bring him in and accept him. But look, whatever way, however it is, whatever way you slice it, however it turns out, he's putting the olive branch out there. He's basically saying that he wants to go on these award shows. He wants y'all to invite him to these events. So invite him. And we'll see if he puts his money where his mouth is. And, they'll be like, look, we invited you to the award show. Letting people turn it down. Y'all got the receipt. Y'all got all this stuff. You can put it up there and call him a liar. But look, he's putting it out there that he wants to be a part of the award shows. And he wants to be included in a lot of black spaces. So do what needs to be done and invite him. Okay. All right, everybody. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are at the end of today's show. Thank you all for watching. If you can, ever so kindly subscribe to all the social media platforms, like, leave a comment, do all the other good stuff. Please, please, please do so. I've noticed that the numbers have been going up a lot lately because I've been putting out a lot more content. I'm trying to do multiple shows a week instead of the once a week that I used to do. So, yeah. So do yourselves a favor, click like, subscribe. If you want to donate some coin to the Cash App, please do. But yeah, so once again, thank you all for watching. I'm your host, Kris Avalon, and until next time, ciao, darlings.